Hello everyone, so I am going to be doing a reading on the Epstein files. Now, I did do a reading on, I don't think I should say his name, I think it's probably YouTube, Epi a while ago, and I said, said it in the Global Psychic Predictions as well. I don't know why a lot of people are very excited on the thought that the list is going to be revealed. I said we will not get to the truth of this. The full list, even if like some kind of faking gets revealed, is not going to be revealed. And then in a global psychic prediction, I said I'm not really sure why everyone's very excited. So the reason I have put the thumbnail as or deciding to something I'm going to decide around Epi resurrects a hoax. Okay. I think it's been 7 years, is it also, that people have been waiting on this. It's been like drawing blood from a creature that doesn't have blood, and then in the end all you get is vagueness and a hoax. That's what it's like, isn't it? And it's just been like, the new admins coming in, so they're going to do it, but it seems like they've not been able to. And even that, the FBI doesn't seem to be interested in the contradictions that are occurring around this, which is very interesting because they're an FBI. So is there a list? And there is a list, there is a file. I can show you that. There's also logs. Okay, there's logs of, like, the island invites, which I've said prior. There's dark stuff, very intricate stuff, and there's different tiers that were on the island, that even if you visited the island and you didn't partake in, let's say, underage stuff, then your name is going to be logged, even if it's like X person was met by this hostess, X pilot was this, and so your name is going to be there. And if things come out, you might not have partaken into criminal activity, in justified activity, but you was in that area. And I believe that some people that visited came to know the tiers, came to know what was going on, but never got involved with that, and at the beginning didn't quite know. It was kind of like you arrived, I remember the reading now, you arrive at the island and they kind of test you slowly to see if you would like to partake in that. I believe the FBI, the CIA and Mossad have copies of the files as well. I'm not sure why Mossad, which is the Israeli CIA, I always got with Epstein that there could be an Israeli kind of Jewish, maybe kind of tie. Is it ethnically or something? I'm not quite sure. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to ask this question. And also, if there's no list, how comes Giselle is in prison, and there's also full evidence of interviews, recordings that Maxwell and Epstein had, and knew where they kept them as well. That's something that they don't have hands on, the others. So let's just get to did he X himself? Okay, because there's been an investigation on the files, and there's an investigation on the video, and there's a full minute between 11:58 to 12 a.m. that's missing. Some people might say it's a glitch. Some people say that this is when something's gone wrong. I've seen the video, and I see that Epstein is walking after meeting his lawyers, and he's walking to his cell, and after that there's no movement. But what's so random about this is that there's officers with caps on, bags going in. If you were to be if let's say you work in a prison in, let's say, London or something, you get searched before you even enter the main area of the prison. At the reception, you get searched. You're only allowed to take in certain people are allowed to take in their phones, and then some people can take in their phones straight to their lockers, and then there's another search. You can't have your bags on, you can't have caps, and that's even before entering the main building. So it's really weird stuff happening, so weird. And then there seems to be a lady at around 5:30 that's pointing in the direction of Epstein's cell, as if she's like saying something. Just weird things happen in there. And if anything, there should be a massive like outcry from the FBI, the investigators, on what the hell is happening here. But I also get that they're hoaxing something around Epi having contact with the outside world. So I don't know how this is done. Would they be trying to say it was via the lawyer? I don't get a no. Maybe it's through his call logs. There's something where they're saying that they don't have details on something, or they wasn't in the meeting or on the phone call or recording, which could have implicated this. Now, I can't remember if this is a download I had or it's out there in the open, that at one stage they found that he had tried to put the rope around him, or there was a thing that a prisoner tried to do it. I get a very big no that it was a prisoner that tried to do it. But let's see. Let's just ask the cards straight away. The truth of this always comes out like this. The truth of this is hidden. It's like it's always protected. It's always so hidden. Because I get a confirmation here, but I get the confirmation is hidden. It's like, and I think this is what happened last time. Yeah. So I asked, is spirit intentionally keeping me from saying, and I get yes. Okay, so yeah, all right, so that's what we get there. And I think I got this the same last time as well. Elon's been going on about this from what I understand. So has Elon seen a copy? Because he keeps saying Duck is on this list and that's why it's not coming out. He's really going for him. So has Elon seen a copy of this? I get a no, by the way. I get original copies he has not seen. But let's see what the card says. So I had two cards fall out. And the top deck was, the top card was a yes. There's something about what he's doing to get recognized. Elon is going to end up towering down on him. He's really trying to go for Duck in this. And it could be that, you know, Duck was in part of a business or an enterprise, not to do with that kind of stuff. I don't think Duck is involved with minors, to be honest with you. As much as whoever hates him, who doesn't hate him, I don't think he was involved with that kind of stuff. But let's just get a clarification, a confirmation. Has Elon seen a copy of these files? Oh, you know what I get? He has, and he shouldn't have. That's the Tower. He has and he shouldn't. He has seen a copy. So I get a yes, I get a yes. He has seen a copy, but he shouldn't have seen a copy. So that's what I get there. Do you know what I get? There was a plan around this by the administration, the FBI, but the situation is not going their way, and it's not going away either. So Duck is really suffering a blow here. When initially it was a win situation and people were really behind him, but it's not going away, and someone has a piece of this puzzle, and it could be a female, by the way. I feel like Musk is a real threat in this, and now that the cards is confirmed, he has seen some sort of copy and he shouldn't have. I really feel he has an intention to bring them down. Now, with Giselle, I don't know why I get something about her health, but I also want to say I get something about her having a girlfriend in prison. So let's see, how is Giselle at this moment in time? How is Giselle at this moment in time? If you are liking this, give it a like, subscribe. And I also want to say I'm doing Brian Coburg, covering that. So if you're enjoying that, make sure you comment, like, subscribe for me to continue. I'm only taking a break this way is because I felt a bit depleted today after channeling into the energy of Koberger and what's his name, Elliot Rogers, and I'm still channeling into Koberger more of his energy, which I'm going to share with you. I also have bought a location card deck, which I don't, is not one that I've seen around much, so it's going to be interesting. I'm going to do testing with that to see about some of the missing people we've got, so stay tuned for that. Do help the channel grow if you're enjoying it and you feel like it's worth it. So how is Giselle's health right now, please, Spirit? Show us Giselle. Giselle Maxwell. Do you know, wasn't they a partner or married or something? I feel like they were more like... So the Three of Swords in reverse is good, right? She's not aching anymore the loss that she once had or the loss of her current situation of life. I don't know why there's a celebration here. I did want to say when is her date of birth, because I feel like this is a birthday kind of celebratory thing. There's something where she's said goodbye to, and I feel like it's a goodbye to, she's finally let go of her life of like jet setting around the place. That has made her feel liberated. So these cards are actually good because I was feeling her health might not be in the best situation. So now let's see cards for her health, please, Spirit, from now and up to 5 years. So just let's see. Just, it could be now and it could be in, I feel like it's now, but just so that we get clarity, okay? This fell in my hand upside down, reverse. When I picked it up, because I couldn't see it, it's gone upright, okay? So, which is very interesting, and I'll get to that in a minute. This tells me her health is not in the best place. Justice upside down was telling me, you know, what's had a real implication on her has been the jail. But then there's something here, which I think it's these cards, what's helped her is she's finally let go of this, which has kind of brought her into a bit more balance and acceptance. It's interesting with this card, it's nothing to do with her health. I'm getting like she's getting male people right into her. Weird perverted kind of stuff. Not, I don't mean to say weird perverted kind of stuff, but they must be weird people, but I'm getting that kind of thing. So maybe there are weird perverted males writing to her, weird perverted stuff. Devil in reverse, which is good, and the Star card and Hope. It looks like she's let go of the chains as what was holding her. There is here a healing that is happening with her, which I think is helping her health. Okay. We know the devil card is also, is she Capricorn? Why am I getting Capricorn energy coming through? I am getting strong Capricorn energy coming through here. Yes, the devil is, but we've got so many cards that mean different signs. I'm getting the Capricorn energy coming through, and it seems like it's another person's energy. She's in for life, isn't she? Like, was there a trial on this, or was it federal so we didn't get to see it? I don't quite remember what it was, because I didn't watch. So mm, there is this balance of acceptance that's really helped her, and definitely helped her. But there is a weakness energy around something, and I wonder if it's like Epi himself. Like, there is an evil fatality here that is occurring. There is a blindness. There's something on, I think, going on behind her back, and I get a confirmation. Okay, so that's Giselle. I just thought I'd pull cards because that's what I was getting. I think what else I'm getting is there's a lot of pieces and ambiguity happening around this. And there's nothing that we can do about it, right? There's nothing we can do about the ambiguity that's happening. And it's kind of like, seal it by saying there's nothing, everything's gone, there's no list, so people can stop asking and the case can just be closed. So it's kind of like, just let's keep a lid on it and just end it round. But there's something around, if it's exposed, then people's safety, like whoever might expose something, and I'm getting here even staff, like pilots, cleaners. I'm not talking about the ST workers. Pilots, cleaners, hostesses, whatever staff they had, even if they expose something, it's not going to be good for their existence on this earth plane. So I think even the smallest, or let's say the minor, let's forget big names, right, are not even being investigated, because the FBI could even pretend and say, we're going to investigate staff, because they would have had logs of staff, wouldn't they? And I'm going to get to some things that will prove there is a list, if you don't believe in me psychically saying there is a list, although I think some people believe there's lies in this, but I'll prove to you with some things as we go along. So I think there is people who, if they do speak, their existence on this earth plane is going to be a huge risk. By the way, I do see there's obviously more than 5 big names, but there's 5 huge names over time are going to be leaked out. This could be when they pass away, and this could be as they're passing away, or a passing away as in, when media suddenly turns on certain people, there's a scandal, then there's just kind of like diminishing of this person's credibility or anything that they were loved for, even if they were not really genuine or whatever. When that happens, their name is going to be cropping up, and I'm telling you, five names over a period of time are coming up strongly. Obviously there's a lot more on that list, a lot more bigger names as well. I also get a message here that it's kind of like proving to the public we can get rid of anything we want at any point in time, and what are you going to do about it? And we know that but this is what we're saying. I get that as well. And when these people, 5 people come up, obviously they're going to say that it's going to be like they were on the list. And it's kind of like, well, didn't you say the list wasn't there? And it's kind of resurrecting this hoax again. You said the list wasn't there. So how do you know these people were on there? Are you talking from memory or what? But it kind of brings this all up to the front again after it dies down a little bit. I do feel like the current situation was implicated to kind of, they really feel torn because they want to highlight or expose some of the old administration that are on this list, but there's a risk element. It's a 2-tier, and so they can't. There is a massive international movement here that wants to take and make a stand on this. Like if the list gets exposed, it's kind of like this international stand is so proud, standing there, kind of like saying, you can thank us because we did it, we exposed it. It's kind of like they're really happy with the power they give. I don't really know what that is that I'm getting downloaded. And I always said they'll never expose it because the people on there, they're not going to be able to really identify the implications. It's like a can of worms that opens. Different tiers, different people are on record, different people are on film with him, different people are in photos, different people partake it in different stuff. And it's kind of like, how on earth can they investigate the justice system, not the FBI, every single avenue and person, and also make sure they don't step on certain toes that can diminish existence. But like I said, there is a log of every single movement, everyone that arrives, everyone that requests. Some people liked similar rooms. There's different tiers, which went to which parties, which guests like to meet up, which guests don't like to meet with certain guests, which guests asked if, let's say, I don't know why I'm getting Prince Harry was there, so yeah, he's my buddy, I want to go on this date. Which one checks in, which one checks out, so the others can check in, check out. Staff records, pilots, cleaners, not just the ST workers. Like I said, how could they, so they're holding information. It's no way they don't know anything about this. And like I said, if they really wanted to show they're doing something about this, they could say we're investigating these people, and then pretend they're moving on to higher ups, and when it all dies down, just don't say anything else. But they're maintaining a closed lid because of the peripheral of stuff that's there. And also something else, that woman, what is she, the blonde woman, she said, what did she say? There is no list, and I'm not going to share with you a sick downloads of child PORN that he was downloaded from the internet. So is she saying that all she found in the epi files, which was supposed to be a list and videos and recordings, is that he was downloaded from the internet, child PORN? That doesn't make sense. That, like, we're not that stupid, right? Epi had so much leverage, and once you arrived at that island, you are effed in a way, because you can't talk, because you could be exposed. And that's his way of leverage. His leverage is until now. Can you imagine the leverage he had? All the recordings also kept him safe. The logs kept him safe. And this is what actually kept him safe for a very long time. I also get, there was safety funds, donations. They could investigate financial trails. At first, it could look like there's a tier here that's covering, but underneath them, they'll trail into the different accounts. That could have been investigated. But they fear that could leak into names being exposed. And I think it's also because of the situation around him apparently unsubscribing, right? Which I don't believe he did. Okay. The spirit is saying wants to keep that, obviously from us, for safety, which is okay. And what I wanted to ask is that minute that's missing of importance? So between 11:58 p.m. and 12 a.m. Okay. If you saw how I moved this, the King of Cups, which I was taken as him, was moving as well. That 11:58 to 12 is very significant, and the bottom of the card is this. It tells me there is a trail, and there was a video editing application that occurred during that time. Okay. There was something that was not in harmony, unbalanced here. There was something that happened between 11:58 to 12 a.m. that was not happiness, not victory, but it was an ending. It was expedition. It was a dispatch. It was an achievement in an ending. And we've got the King of Cups next to it. We've got the Eight of Pentacles in reverse. Something did not go as had been mastered. And they had to pick up what they had and peacefully, quietly turn away while something was happening there. And then come back and pretend everything is in order. But you see, there was actually something that was of a log left behind. Like I say, there's something where they are hoaxing that, or he was allowed to do something he shouldn't have been allowed to do. And that's because of this whole setup for this to occur. Okay. For either assisted or for this to actually occur. So it was significant. Let's see, between 5:30 and 6:30 a.m. I think they said it's around 6:30 he was found. King of Pentacles in reverse. Him not in his power. Him not in the not as Epi, the person who has the leverage, right? Who has it all. The secret of it. And the Tower in reverse. It wasn't a shocking ending. There was a secret to this person's power. So I believe his ending. And it was very hidden. It's that Moon card again. It's still very hidden, but it was not a shocking moment. It wasn't like spontaneous. This was, I want to say, planned. Look at the bottom of the deck, and as I say, it was planned. I get the ending card. Look at the amount of major arcanas. Was it via HANG? And there was a choice here, by the way. It seems like there was a choice in the method or the way that it is said it occurred. So some people probably believe he's alive. I'm going to leave this here, but I hope this gave you psychic downloads. It re-emphasized the original reading I did, which I have not seen, but I got the downloads. It also proved to you facts around this. And let's look out for those names that then it's kind of like, well, you said there wasn't a list, so how comes there is a list? But yeah, the 12 to 12 a.m. I get there was a video editing, and I also get that if they investigated it, which they did, in the investigation report, there should be something where maybe, you know, they said they didn't do the checks that they should have done, which is another red flag, which tells me they knew what was going to be happening. That there was a check. I want to say 11:30 to 12:30 or 1 a.m. So did they leave his jail cell not checked, pretended to not check it, or pretended to check it but didn't check it? I'm getting it was a masterpiece of how it was done. But what we're seeing is just laughable. And by that, I just see the police, the officers, the jail officers, or whatever you call them, you know, the coming with the hoodies and going around and not really checking, and probably online looking to buy something or something like that. It's laughable, but behind the scene, there was a masterpiece and a master plan. And with that, I see Epstein. So I'm going to leave this there. I hope you enjoyed this. Take care of yourselves, and bye for now.